I am a terrible car owner. I haven't started this 1980 626 since probably October, which is terrible. I always preach against letting cars sit with at least start them and let them run. And I think it's been towards the end of last year since this thing has run. So today I'm going to get it running, hopefully, and stretch its legs because I have a few parts to put on it, some shocks and some other stuff. We'll do that later. But I just kind of want to stretch its legs and make sure that it still runs. And so we're going to check the fluids and hopefully everything's good and it fires right up. So normally I just trying to key and hope for the best, but as I've gotten older, I don't know if wiser is the correct word, but my experience tells me that checking the fluid is more important than seeing if it runs before so. So we're going to check the oil, which the dipstick is way down here on the block on these old 2-liter MAs, and it looks terrible because it's been sitting. I probably haven't changed the oil in 2 years, but I've probably only driven it probably 100 miles, maybe 150. Yeah, it's got oil in it, so we're going to change that. That'll be on the to-do list. Let's check coolant. It's a little low, but not terrible. Let's go get some to kind of top that off, and we'll try to start this thing up. So I was topping off, and I decided to let's check this overflow, and I found something a little disappointing. I don't know where the hose. Oh, there it is. And I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get that out without getting this out of here. I was never good at fishing, so we get some pliers. Alright, where are you at in there? Cool. No idea. Probably could have gotten it if I hadn't. Oh, I think I see it. If I hadn't tried to get it out with my finger. Okay, plan B. Alright, so now I got that put back together correctly. Fish that out. And let's clean up some coolant. Alright, let's give it a whirl. See if it does anything. Maybe it'll run. Alright, pump the gas and prime it. Oh, we've got power. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Come on, baby. Oh, fire. Yeah, it runs good. Will it idle? Nope. Will not idle. Ooh, it is unhappy. Let's back it out so we don't fog out my garage here. I'll back it up a little bit. Will it idle now? Please? Pretty please? Please, don't do that. Don't do that. That was kind of idling. Its version of idling. It is seriously unhappy, and it has wet the floor. So I'm gonna let this thing kind of warm up or see if it'll make itself happy, which carburetor just might be cold-natured. Who knows how old the gas is in it? Well, it's probably from last year, but then we're gonna take it for a spin and give it the old Italian tune-up. We're just going to take it around the block, kind of stretch its legs a little bit. And I shut this off because I wasn't thinking. So we're going to hope it starts back up. Oh yeah. It's also really hot, and this is a California car without air. More power steering. I always forget about that. Every time I drive this thing, and the mirror is super loud and angry sounding. And if I remember right, by the time I'm done driving, it will be pointed at the ground again. I'm pretty gentle driving this thing. This is probably the slowest car I own for now. Oh, that sounds good. Good sound. Oh, it sounds great. This is a car a couple miles away. We're gonna kind of let it pass. I need a lot of room to get up to speed. This carburetor's not exactly working 100%. It's on the list as well. Oh yeah. It does just fine. So the main reason that I need to get this running, besides the fact that I need to get it running and sat for so long, is that it needs shocks really bad. One of the fronts, I can't remember which side, is locked up, and it's been like that since I bought this car. And the other front really is just a spring holder, so the rears seem to be okay, but I bought some Coney Red NOS shocks in the box probably 11 years ago for my other first generation 626 that I used to have, and I've kept them all this time, and it is finally time. It's going to pay off buying those things before I really wanted to put them on. Oh, there, we're going to mash it. 30, 35, 40, 45. Oh, I might be breaking the law now. It's good for it though. And if you haven't checked out the first video on this car, I did it with my terrible camera, and it's a terrible video. But it kind of explains the story of how I bought this thing. I had a 79 for a while. I bought it kind of on a whim. I always loved these cars. My dad used a wrench on these in the garage when I was growing up. He's a retired Mazda technician, and I always wanted one, and I jumped at the first one I found, which was kind of it was a bucket, but I learned how to work on them, and I started acquiring parts to restore that one. And I was actually doing a tasting for a wedding, my fiance, now wife at the time. I got a call from a friend of mine, and he's like, hey, you need to buy this 626. It's out by me in San Mateo, California. And I thought, man, like, I got a wedding to pay for. He's like, I don't care, you're buying this car. And Jeff knows that story pretty well. Anyway, so he sent me some pictures, and I bought it. I had to buy it. I had it shipped from San Francisco to St. Louis. Basically, I bought a whole lot of my time. I basically bought something that I could just start driving right away and didn't require a whole restoration like my other car did. I sold off the other car, actually the parts car that I bought with it, so those are gone. And I still have a huge supply of parts for these. Probably not the parts I need as much as the parts that I don't, or may at some point. But it's nice to have some backup, because there really is nothing out there for these cars. It's all gone. These cars are pretty much all gone, and it's really a shame. I know rust really killed most of these. Mazda really didn't seal these cars up, and they still actually have trouble with keeping their cars from rusting, but they wouldn't rust if we didn't use rock salt. That's a whole other argument. All right, we're gonna peg it. There's second gear, keeping up with traffic. Oh, I might actually get a ticket going this fast. Slow down here. Back in the garage, but not for too long. Well, thankfully that was pretty smooth. You know, I always expect things to go wrong, and of course driving it, and I kind of realized that there's a couple other things I need to do. But let's go over the amount of parts that I need to put on this car the next time I work on it. I kind of got this bag of goodies that I probably had for 5 years. Looks like I've got it's a valve cover gasket and some plugs and a head. Oop, we're not gonna put the head gasket on now. I kind of just buy stuff in fear of it never being available again, because I prefer to use OEM gaskets. There's an intake gasket and there's a carburetor base gasket, thermostat housing gas, thermostat. Cool. So I got some stuff to fix some oil leaks. There's the O-ring for the distributor, and then my Koni shocks. These things are probably 20 or, well, didn't need that, maybe later. These things are probably 25 years old, and I've had them kicking around my house for a long time. I basically bought these for my 1979, then I bought this car, and I kept these because I was not going to let these go. These are pretty much impossible to find anymore. I think I have 2 pairs of fronts and 1 pair of rears. So I'm going to put a set of shocks on it and some of these other parts, and it should kind of make the car a little more enjoyable to drive. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe. I will definitely be doing a video on this car when I go to actually work on it. Today was just kind of getting it running, stretching its legs, making sure that when I do pull it in the garage, hopefully next weekend, that I don't have to play this game next weekend. It's kind of trying this planning ahead thing. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. Talk to you guys later.